Okay, we're live. We are live both on Instagram and on YouTube at the same time. Welcome back to our daily live feed. We've been off for a little bit because I had a birthday and I celebrated, and now we're back. Normally we do our wrap ups on Tuesdays, but obviously I was not here yesterday. So back now. And if you would like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. If you are logging on Instagram, over on YouTube, we will be doing screen sharing. So video and pictures from the show this past weekend. I'm going to be sharing that. Thank you for the belated birthday wishes. I appreciate that. I had my fill of cake and I am good to go. Check-ins are going to be fun tomorrow. Hello. And if you are on YouTube or going over to YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. If you turn on notifications, you will get a notification 30 minutes before we actually go live so that it reminds you to get on live. Thank you for the happy belated birthday wishes. I appreciate that. 41 years old. Never felt so good. No. It's funny because when I was younger, I really dreaded getting older. Now that I'm older, I really don't care. I'm like, wow, okay. My 20s were harder than now, basically. My cake was yummy. Yes. And we still have like over 2/3 of it in my refrigerator. I got to get rid of that. So I'm more of a frosting person. Like I had one piece of cake and then I ate the frosting equivalent of another, but I didn't eat the actual cake itself. 40 is where it's at. It's weird. I hit a whole new level of confidence when I turned 40. I don't know what it is. And I've talked to other women who have turned 40 and it was like the same thing that happened to them. It's just a whole new level of you're just the bomb. You're the shit. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but it's like as soon as you turn 40, it's like I am that bitch. I don't even know. Yes, frosting on it, right? I would rather eat a tub of frosting than a cake. That's me. But that's my thing. I love frosting. Frosting's my thing. I used to, do actual like bakery type stuff. Like I was looking when I went to go to school for college, I was looking at culinary institutes because I potentially wanted to do pastry, become a pastry chef. So very much into baking and decorating and the artistic part of the baking aspect. So I love decorating cakes and things like that. When I was in high school, I sold cakes as a side hustle kind of thing to earn extra money. So I baked and decorated cakes for people for parties and stuff. So yeah, that's where it's at for me. And right now my mouth is watering. Yes, buttercream frosting. Yes. Give me all the sugar. It's like a freaking spoonful of sugar is what it is. It literally is sugar and milk. That's what it is. So I worked at a bakery. The coloring for frosting was the best part. Yeah, I love decorating. It's so much fun. It's just like anything else. It's the same thing with me when it comes to makeup and like when I'm decorating, blinging out suits and things like that. It's like, for me, that is a stress release, like being creative, seeing that stuff come together. I don't know what it is. I love it. So it's a great skill. I don't think very many people do that anymore. Yeah, I don't think they do either. They buy everything made already. They get a machine that just pops it out, spits it out. So tonight what we're going to do is we are going to wrap up Battle of the Bodies, and then we are going to talk about this coming weekend shows tomorrow. So we will do that. And then we've got Ben Weider coming up next week, which we have a ton of girls in. So it's going to be a very, very busy show for us. I want to make a couple of notes. There's 2 shows back to back. So there's Ben Weider, and then there's Battle Royale. So I know most of the women that we are working with are doing Ben Weider, but we have a few that are going to be crossing and doing Battle Royale the following day as well. So if you've booked hair and makeup with me and you need both days, please let us know. So that way we can set you up so that we get you appointments for both days. If you have set up for hair and makeup, you will get your appointment by Tuesday at the latest of next week, most likely Monday, but Tuesday at the latest. We do have a final Sundays with Sean this coming weekend in preparation for Ben Weider. So if you are doing that show, I highly recommend that you come. I will be giving out a bunch of suit packages and stuff that day too. So lots of suit reveals that day. Yes, booked with the right person. Yes. Yeah, I'm sad you won't be going this year too. I know it was a great show last year. I'm really looking forward to it again this year. It is one of my busiest shows of the year. I have a ton of girls doing this show, so I'm going to be exhausted, but I'm looking forward to it though at the same time. And with that, we are announcing more and more stuff for Cuties Conquer the Stage too. If you didn't notice today, we announced our official photographer, who is Nicole, and I butcher her name. So I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Sorry, Nicole, if you're on this live feed, which you sometimes are, it's flexing photo, and I cannot pronounce your last name, so I'm not going to even try. It starts with an S. There you go. But it's flexing photo. We are really trying to stick to this year, having everybody that is coming in be female as much as possible. Oh, there she is. She's on right there. I can't pronounce your last name. I'm sorry. So, it's awesome to have her doing our photography too, because she's one of the few women behind the lens that is in our sport, in our industry. So that's why I changed it here. That's funny. Yeah, Lauren's is a lot easier to pronounce than I'm not even going to attempt your first last name. I'm not going to attempt it. But we're excited to have her on board. And like I said, we will be announcing more people coming up, more prizes coming up, more sponsors coming up, little by little. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, please do. The link is in my bio on Instagram. It is also in my description on YouTube in that box. Click on that and get your ticket, because we will have lots of fun stuff coming up. What else? I think I covered all the P's and Q's and stuff like that we needed to cover, so we can go right into the show review. Now, this was actually really, really good quality live stream and photos and everything like that from this particular show, so we can really break it down. I actually had a hard time getting on the live stream. Wasn't working for me, so I reached out to them that morning, and they sent me a new key to get in, so I was able to get in and watch everything and all that. So I was very happy about that, because when I actually got a chance to watch the live stream, it was beautiful quality, beautiful photos, beautiful video, beautiful lighting. You can really see everything. So let me see if I can get the video up. That's always the fun part, making sure that we can actually get stuff to play. Hold on, where is it at? I have 1,000 tabs open, so hang on a second. Let me X out of a couple of these things. Maybe that'll help. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. All right, let's see if I can get the video player to come up. There it is. Okay. Okay, so here is the live stream. All right. Let me get this playing. So what we have here is we have first call out. It was a very, very good, like you can see just with this playing how good this quality was. So it's almost like you can see the depth of the muscle and everything like that. They compared these girls a lot. They did a lot of confirmation rounds. They brought, the top 4 back several times in several different configurations. And I believe that was because each one of these girls had things that were great, and then they had things that were kind of okay. Now, as we know, India did end up winning this. And I think that a lot of that had to do with her overall conditioning, to be honest with you, and her shape from the back. So I'm going to give it a minute as this is playing. And they're going to bring out the first set of comparisons. So here, what they're trying to do really is they're trying to determine, you're going to see over the next 2 call outs, so trying to determine the top 4, basically, what order they're going to go in. Now, I felt that these 2 right here, Brittany and Maya, I'm sorry if I pronounced that name wrong, Maya, I believe they were very comparable. There were certain things that were good about both of them, and there were certain things that were lacking about both of them. Now, let's see if we can get a zoom in on this. Wait till I zoom in. There we go. So when you look at them from the back, This is where I believe that Brittany actually won it, was from the back between the two of them, because Brittany did end up placing higher. She placed second. So between the two of them, I believe she won it. And the reason why is because her legs versus Maya's legs. Maya's legs were a little bit over dominant. I actually think that Maya's glutes and conditioning were better. But when you look at her, you do see the quad sweep on the outside and everything like that. And Brittany, you don't. I believe Brittany was a little bit too hard when it came to her conditioning. Her glutes were nice and full and round. But I think what really did it from the back, to be honest with you, is the legs right here. So, Maya's definitely not wellness, but they're going to kind of dock people when you start seeing those quad sweeps on the outside like that. I think that Brittany's balance was better over here. I actually think that Maya's conditioning was better here. But this is where I think that Brittany took the lead here, because when you look at them from the front, I actually think that Maya was winning from the front between the two of them. So let me give them a chance to come back to the front here. So when we look at these two from the front, again, I think that Maya's conditioning was right on. Her conditioning was right there. I think Brittany was overboard. When I look at shape, what I also notice here is that Maya is very balanced from her shoulders to her glutes. Nice round pop in her shoulder, nice round pop in her glute. With Brittany, she needs a little bit more pop here on this glute. So I think that between these two, I believe that Maya won this front comparison, but Brittany won the back comparison. I think that if Brittany can pop this out a little bit more, make that waistline look a little smaller from the front, and just fill out just a touch more, then she probably would have won from the front. But this shape right here, this conditioning right here, in my opinion, is better. Again, from the back, I think it was Brittany. From the front, it was Maya. Let this play through for a second here. So they're sending them off, and they're going to bring out another set. I love this video quality. It really helps me to be able to see what the judges were seeing, So see, now you can see they're bringing out Erin, and they're bringing out Maya. So this is an indication right here that Brittany just won that call out. So now, because Maya's here up against these other two girls for your, 4, 5, and 6 spots, I believe. So to me, when I'm looking at the front here, I think it's pretty obvious that Maya's in the lead from the front. Shoot, what is this girl's name? Somebody help me out. I'll pull up she's the one that just took second in Japan, in Tokyo. Elizabeth Vetta. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I apologize. There are some difficult names out there, you guys. She just needs to be a little bit bigger in muscle size, in my opinion. You can see that pretty clearly here when you're looking at her between these other two right here. That's what I mentioned when we previewed this show. I felt like her size just needs to be a little bit bigger. Her conditioning is great. Shape is great. Overall look is great. She's just a little bit on the small side, which you can definitely see when you're putting her next to these other two right here. She just needs another layer of muscle on top. Erin Dennis right here looks good. Again, same critique that I had from last week is that she's a little bit upper body dominant versus lower body. She needs a little bit more pop to her lower body here. How did this play out? I think Erin ended up jumping, right? Yeah, Erin was in 5th, which makes sense. Let's see. Let me play that a little bit again. So again, for those of you that are logging on Instagram, if you go over to our YouTube, we have screen sharing going on. So that's what I'm talking about right now. So let's watch these 3 turn to the back. Okay, so again, here we have in my opinion, very clearly Maya's in the lead between these 3. These girls both need more glutes, right? And they need to be a little bit better conditioned as well. We need some more pop up here on the top. We need some better hamstring tie-in right here. Same thing over here. Her hamstrings are a little bit better, but she needs some more glute overall as well. And I mentioned that last week too. If she can pull out this upper glute here, that will really help her waistline look a lot smaller from the back. In this scenario here, I think she just needs overall depth, quality to her muscle here. And I think that also, again, building out a little bit more on that upper glute will help to make her waistline look even smaller here in the back and help with her proportions. I don't think she needs any more size. So she has some depth. She needs some depth of muscle. She doesn't need size here. Same thing here. We need a little bit more depth. Don't need more size in the legs. Do need more size and depth in the glutes. Especially when you're standing up next to Maya. Now, again, Maya, I believe her quads are a little bit too big, so take that into account as well. She might be better off bringing her toes forward a little bit. That might help to bring the quads down a little, but I'd have to see it first to know. And then when you look at the shoulders as well, she's definitely got the better shoulder caps here. Needs more shoulders. Pretty good on the shoulders here in the back, but again, she just needs to be balanced with her lower body. Let that play through. And again, they did a lot of comparisons with this top call out because I think they had a really hard time determining placings. They moved people around a lot. They brought them all out to compare against each other a lot. And this is only one call out, you guys. And this whole video that I have here is what, like 5 minutes long or something like that. And this doesn't even include the full first call out. So this was a long prejudging. Good work to these girls. Then bring out the next call out between those top. All right, so they're bringing down Alessia, Brittany, and India. So now you can clearly see that they have moved Brittany up into that top 3 when she was initially next to Maya. So they brought her up. Now these 3 are comparing against each other. So this is where I believe that they were all really good, and it was hard to determine who was going to be what. And one of the reasons why I think that India won this is because her conditioning level was right on. I think both Alessia and Brittany were a little bit too hard. You can really see those cuts, that diamond cut into their glutes. Whereas with India, she's a little bit softer through there. They all have some decent pop. Alessia could use some more pop. She could use a little bit more size in the upper outer part of her glutes as well. Same thing I said about Brittany here. And same thing, India. India, when she's going into Olympia, if she can pull out this upper outer glute a little bit more, that's going to make her waistline look smaller. From the back, it's pretty clear to me that the delts on India are superior. Alessia could use a little bit more volume here. I think that Brittany's are pretty close. I think she just needs to fill out. Again, I think she was just a little bit too hard. If she was a little bit fuller, I think that could have definitely helped her here. But I think that India's fullness and conditioning was right on the money here. Now, I do think that India's a little bit thick through the legs, but the only reason why is because she's short. If you look at her legs in comparison to Alessia, they're honestly not that much bigger. They just look like they're bigger because she's shorter. You can see how much longer Alessia's legs are in comparison to India. So the illusion is that India's legs are big, but they're not. They're actually not that big. She can stand to bring them down for Olympia. She can stand to bring them down just a little bit more for Olympia, but also, again, like I said, this conditioning is right on. And India's always been known for her glutes. And that's no surprise here. So if I was her going into Olympia, what I'd be doing is be working on pulling those glutes up a little bit more and bringing the legs down a little bit more, which I believe is what she's been doing anyway. So let this play through. They're going to walk to the back. And between the 3 of them, India's walk to the back was best too. I think India's really calmed that walk down a lot. She used to be really bouncy. She's not anymore at all. We'll let them walk it back forward again. And get into that front pose and we'll pause it. Oh, moving. Hold on. I want to get Brittany fully in her pose as close as we can anyway. Move right out of it. There we go. Okay. All right. So from the front here, this was hard. Again, I think that India's conditioning level was right where it was supposed to be. I think that Brittany was just over the line, more so than Alessia. Alessia has a tendency to be really hard. I don't think this was too hard for Alessia. I just think it was it's a touch too hard. But Alessia tends to be harder anyway. I actually think this was a good conditioning package for Alessia. We're just talking about criteria in general. She tends to be a little bit on the harder side. But I actually really think this was a very good front pose from Alessia. Between the three of them, I probably would have put Alessia in first in this front pose, and that's because of her waistline right here, that V into her waistline. Now, again, I think that her conditioning was just a touch over the line here, which is why she probably wasn't higher in the placing. But as far as shape is concerned from the front, I think that Alessia's shape was the best out of these three. Again, what stands out to me here is that Brittany just needs to get that pop on the top of her glutes. Again, this conditioning is just a little bit too much. Needs to come in a little bit softer, just a touch. And to me, this is really good conditioning for India. Her waistline is always going to be something she's going to have to continuously be very cognizant of, because she does, again, have a thicker waistline because she's shorter. If she was a little bit taller, if she was Brittany's height, it wouldn't look like it was that thick. She's probably about the same size as Brittany. And again, she's not thick in general, but just in this lineup, she looks thicker because of her height. So there's always the pluses and minuses of being outside of the average height range, right? Like these two girls are taller, on the taller side for height range, and then India's on the shorter side for height range. So, when she's comparing herself against these girls that are, 6 inches taller than her, she looks thicker. In reality, she's not that much thicker, but it's all illusion. It's all how you present yourself. I do think this was an improved package from what India's put on the stage in the past. And I do think that her conditioning level, her improvements, things like that are what put her over the edge. And I do think she also won it from the back. I think all three of these girls were very, very close from the front. And again, I believe that the conditioning level overall is what made the difference here, which I'm happy about. I'm happy that the judges went with the softer conditioning, and India's not soft by any stretch of the imagination, but she's softer than the other two. And I think that was the determining factor, to be honest with you, when I'm looking at these videos, and then shortly the pictures too. So there's your video. Any questions on that, you guys? I wanted to show that. And if you go and you look through the comparison shots and things like that on NPC News Online, you will see very clearly the difference between a first call out girl and a third call out girl. All of these girls on this stage from first to last looked phenomenal. The main difference that we're seeing is in the shape and in the size and the conditioning. The girls that were a little bit bigger and that were really well balanced with their conditioning were in that first call out. There were some girls in that last call out that just needed to be a little bit bigger. There were some girls in the last call out whose conditioning was a little bit off, like their lower half was softer, their upper half was harder, that kind of thing. But overall, the shapes all look really, really good across the board. Across the board, everybody looked really good as far as shape is concerned. It's size and conditioning that's making the difference in this show. Let me pull up our results. Okay. So let's look at Erin. We were just looking at her a second ago. I'll show you again what we were talking about with her shape. So here is a front shot of her. And again, these photos and everything are very, very good as far as seeing everything that we want to see. So you can see here, like I said, was in the video, that she's just a little bit upper body dominant, right? So she just needs to pull her lower body up a little. She's a little bit harder through her upper body than she is in her lower body. And she just needs a little bit more size here. Nice shape, really nice shape right in through the waistline. She's nice and tight. She's nice and full. She just needs a little bit more size in those glutes. Let me find a back shot. And she's also smart with her posing because I was looking through her posing earlier and there's only one picture of her in her back pose, full on back pose, because she knows that's her weakness. I'm sure she's gotten the feedback that she needs to grow some size, that kind of thing. And now I can't even find the one back pose. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. It's not even fully posed. She's only got one back shot in the whole thing, like 3 pages worth of pictures, and she's got one back shot. So she knows not to hold that pose because she knows that's not her. That's your weakness. That's her weakness right there. She needs more size in her glutes and she needs to be better conditioned. So that's just going to take time. That's going to take time to build. And once she does, then it's going to make her whole shape and frame look a whole lot better right here. So this is the only back shot that she has up there. The rest of them are all kind of off to the side a little bit in transitions, all that kind of stuff. So girls, if it's your weakness, don't show it. She did a good job of that. She did a good job. She did what she had to do, and that was enough. Let's go to Maya. Again, I really liked her from the front. Let's get a good shot of her from the front. And I did recognize her name when I was doing the previews. I put her picture, her name into NPC News Online, and the pictures that came up were from an NPC show. She actually won the initial Ben Weider show that was in Canada, so she has been to the Olympia. So I knew I recognized her name. This is a really good front pose. She's got the shorter torso and the long legs, but she has a really good V into that short torso. So that's really beneficial for her. Makes her look very cartoonish in a good way. We're always looking for the cartoon shapes. So this is a really, really good shot. Again, her conditioning level's right on, all of that. And the one thing that's going to be difficult for her is the fact that she has the long legs. So inevitably, when you're trying to build your glutes, you're going to also build your legs. I mean, it's kind of hard to not do that. So she's got to figure out a way to probably adjust her training just a little bit. And she's pretty straight on with her toes here. So I think, I don't know, I'd like to see, before I make any determinations, I would rather see her in person posing than try to make this determination from pictures. But I believe if she was to adjust her posing a touch, that would probably help with her legs. But even here, when she's got her feet pretty straight, her glutes aren't popping quite as much as they were when she was in her comparison shots. So, you know, maybe it's not the posing thing. Maybe it's more of a shaping thing that she's got to do. So she's got great glutes. It's just, we just don't want to see all this quad pop on the outside. So we got to figure out she's got to figure out how to train that just to get it to better balance. Because overall, like I said, this conditioning is right on, spot on, and her glutes look phenomenal. So very, very close. Just has to do a little tweaking on that. Let's see. Alessia, pull up a good front shot of her. Finally got a good front shot of her. The last show, there was no front shots that were full on posed. Here we go. Okay, so this is, for me, this is a very good package for Alessia. Again, she has that short torso too, but she's got that tight V right here. Same thing as Maya had. She has that tight V right here, which makes her ratios look insane. She's a little bit hard, but that's Alessia. She always looks a little bit hard. That's how she looks her best. When she comes in a little bit too full, then we start losing the waistline, all those kinds of things. So she has to walk a fine line balance here. She has to walk a fine line balance. And I do think that this is a very good package for her. And I think she has gotten better over the last couple of shows that she's been doing. I'm still, and I'm going to say it again, I'm not a huge fan of the butt cut on her glutes. I'm going to pull that up. This is the area. I think her front shot is actually really, really good. I think the area where she can improve is going to be in her glutes, her glute shot. So let me find a posed back shot. Okay, so again, conditioning just a little bit too tight through here. She needs a little bit more volume into her glutes so that she doesn't need to come in quite so tight through those hamstrings. And like I said, this cut right here, this cut, it needs to round her out a little bit more. All I see here is it just squares her off in the glutes. So I'd really like to see this dip down a little bit more. I think that would very much help the overall aesthetic of her glute, so she doesn't look quite so square. And I'd just like to see more volume to her glutes, and I think she would look really, really good from the back. I think her front shot looks the best it's looked. We just want to see some more fullness and roundness in the glutes here. Let's go to Brittany. So Brittany's one that's been kind of on the outside of that first call out the last couple of shows. Now she made her way up into that second place position. And again, I don't think she's really far off. I think she just needs to be a little bit softer. I think she was just a little bit too hard for this show. This is a very, very good shot right here of her. Nice tight waistline here. In this particular shot, she looks like she's got a nice pop in the glutes and everything too. It's only when she gets next to other people that you notice that she lacks a little bit right here. When she's standing by herself, she looks great. But when she gets next to the others, you can see where she needs to add a little bit more volume to her glutes, because she does have some really nice pop to her shoulders here. So I believe she's competing again this coming week. So if she comes in just a touch softer, just a hair softer, she should do very, very well. She's got a beautiful look and everything too. So that really helps her along the way. Really good balance to her overall frame and everything too. Again, just a little bit more pop, a little bit softer. When we turn her to the back, let's see. Get a back shot for you. Again, great shape from the back. Really, really great shape from the back. Oh, I'm hitting something. Sorry. She's got some nice round glutes, all of that. I just think in order for this to be her best look, this just needs to be a little, again, I'm going to say it again, a little bit softer. Just a little bit softer. That'll help her to pop out and fill out in the back here. Because overall the shape looks really good. She's got great shoulders up in here. Just a little fuller. Just a little bit softer, a little bit fuller. Should be good to go. Oh, I want to point out one more thing on her. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Let me pull up that thing again and show you what I'm talking about here. And again, I'm going to go back to this right here. This is what I'm talking about with the rounding out. This rounds her out from the back, this shape, right? Keeps her nice and round on those glutes. I want to see that cut on Alessia. That's what I want to see right there. Okay. And last but not least, we're going to go to India. So we predicted that India would win this. It was kind of all felt like this was her show to lose. You know what I mean? So she did come in with an improved package. The last time she was on stage was Pittsburgh Pro. And again, I think that what really, really did this for her more than anything else is the conditioning level. I think that her conditioning was right where it needed to be. I do think she worked on reshaping her frame a little bit. I'm going to be nitpicky here, and she needs to get herself some shoe pads to keep her toes inside of her shoes. Just get a little padding to put inside there to keep the toes in. Trust me, I know the same feeling. My feet are really long and narrow. You can see it from my fingers. My toes are long and narrow, so they slide out the front. The only ones that don't do that for me are the Olympian mules. I got my feet stuck in there, so make sure you get some pads to keep your toes inside your shoes. I'm really nitpicky, but it's just something I see. And then her overall shape looks really good. Again, when she goes to prep for Olympia, I would still work on continuing to trim down the legs, continuing to build the upper outer glute, and continuing to pull in this waistline. She does have a tendency to have a little bit more muscle than most girls. She came from, the last few years doing some powerlifting, that kind of thing. So this is this is a very muscular frame, and she's just got to shape it. She's been doing a good job, just needs to keep going. Good front shot. Just like to see this waistline come in a little bit tighter, but again, I think her conditioning level is one of the things that pushed her over the edge here. Where did that go? And we'll pull up her back shot. And one of the places that India is always good is her glutes. She's been known for her glutes forever since she started. And she's come a long way with, again, shaping her frame. And this back shot is a whole lot better than what she was doing at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, she was bending a lot, and she's not doing that anymore. So she's doing a lot better on this pose. Just has to continue to go in this direction. Really, really phenomenal glutes. And just, if I was her, continue to build the upper outer and continue to bring down the legs a little. Again, most of that is just because she's a shorter competitor. So since she's shorter, she's going to look a little bit more compact, right? But yeah, I think it was very, very tight between those top three girls. And then it was pretty tight. So questions, you guys, any questions? Y'all have been quiet this go around. Like, y'all can hear me, right? You can hear me, right? I'm like, there's 31 of you online, so I'm hoping y'all can hear me. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any comments? Are you there? Just comment and say, yes, I'm here. Somebody? We only got one on Instagram. I think everybody came over to YouTube. Just soaking it all in. You do a great job. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm just making sure y'all can hear me. I'm like, anybody out there? Knock, knock. Who's there? Okay, good. I guess I got everybody captivated tonight, apparently. So, yeah. I didn't watch the Masters Pros, so no, I don't ever really cover the Masters Pros because it's not Olympia qualifying. So the only ones that I really cover when I've got my own clients in the shows. So okay, good, awesome, good. And I cover Masters Pros when it's a Masters Pro only show, or like when we did Masters USA, or not Masters USA. Masters Nationals, that kind of thing. So if I covered all the Masters shows, we would be here for 5 hours every day. Just love the feedback. I agree. The lighting on the stage was amazing. The pictures turned out fabulous. They did. This was a very, very well lit show. Yeah, promoters out there, take notes. I don't know what they did with their lighting, but the lighting was really good. The video was really good. The pictures were really good. So good. I'm glad you look forward to my show reviews. Yeah, comment away. Even when these get reposted, if you go back and watch it or something like that, give me a quick comment on there. That helps with the algorithms, so it gets picked up and all of that. And then I will respond to your comments too. So if you think of questions, things like that along the way, go ahead and throw them in there. Was Maya's conditioning better than India? I know she has too much quad, but what about conditioning in comparison? I think the Maya's conditioning was comparable to India's. Maya was a little bit tighter in the back between her glute and hamstring tie-in. So she might have been a little bit overboard in that scenario. I don't think so. I think she was right there. It's hard to say though. They did put her next to India at one point, but I just, what I saw when I saw Maya was I saw quads. So, I think that conditioning was an afterthought in Maya's particular situation. Top 6 had me gagging, to be honest. I just kept thinking any single one of these women could win any show. Yeah, 100%. Yep. I believe it was very, very tight in that top 3. I believe it was very, very tight in that top 3. Even with Maya in that 4th place position as well. They compared them all. They gave everybody the opportunity. And that top 4, everybody in that top 4 had the opportunity to move up. based on how they were comparing everybody. So that was good. I like seeing that. I like when the judges actually give the competitors the chance to move up, right? But yeah, do yourselves a favor at some point, go through the comparison shots and take a look at the girls in the second and third call outs too. Because what you'll notice, like I said, is that the shapes of everyone look really, really good. There's just the differences come between the size of muscle on the girls, and also how tight they are on the lower half, the hamstring tie and that kind of thing. Some girls can go overboard in that tightness, and some girls aren't tight enough. And that's really where the determination between third call out and first call out comes into play, is the size and the conditioning. Which is great because it really opens it wide open for every shape of girl to do well in bikini, right? The shapes are all really, really good because they've been working very hard on shaping their frames to fit the division. So that is really cool to see. And then, like I said, where you see the difference between third call out and first call out is in the conditioning and the actual physical size of the girls, right? And bigger's not better. The hard thing about bikinis is that it's down the middle. It's down the middle. That's the hard part, right? Any other questions? So as we're wrapping up tonight, like I said, tomorrow night we'll come on again and we will preview this coming weekend, because we've got a show in Texas, and then there's also the UK Arnold as well this coming weekend. So we'll preview those. Like I was saying before, if you haven't gotten your Cuties Conference stage ticket yet, please do. We have more sponsors and prizes and things like that to announce coming up. We have several show promoters that are on board this year, so be watching for that. Like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. Turn your notifications on, because again, if you turn notifications on, you will get a notice when we are going to go live a half an hour before we actually go live, so that you don't forget. What else? I think I've got everything. Sundays with Sean this coming weekend, then Weeders next weekend, and then we're in October. We're in October already. Goodness gracious. Oof. This year. It's almost fall time. Tomorrow, as of tomorrow, you guys can talk about pumpkin spice, okay? Not till tomorrow. You got one more day. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is all fall. It's still summer today, just so you know. And on that note, I hope you guys have had a great week so far. I gotta go eat. I'm freaking starving. And that's it. If you want to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you got to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. And, I wanted to clarify one thing, too, because I've had a few girls say this. So when you go to book with us, we are just not open for phone consultations. However, we do all consultations through emails, text, and chat. So we are open for those. We are taking clients. I've had some people ask me and say that they thought we weren't taking new clients. No, we are taking clients. We're just doing them through chat, email, and text. Cool? All right. Just want to clarify that. And on that note, have a great night. All right. I'll log out